Right, this is really exciting. We actually get to meet a true live astronaut. And this is Don Thomas, all the way from NASA, to say a few words for us.
Hello, my name is Don Thomas, a former NASA astronaut. And during my career with NASA, I had the amazing opportunity to fly on 4 space shuttle missions. And during that time, I spent 44 days in space, and I traveled around the Earth 692 times. So I spent about 17 years of my career as an astronaut. And out of those 17 years, I only spent 44 days in space. So most of that time, I'm in preparation, doing training. So there's an incredible amount of training to go into space. For my first mission, it was 4 years of training, full-time, just to prepare myself for my first 15-day mission. We launched out of the Kennedy Space Center in Florida, and it's an amazing place to come and see a shuttle launch. It makes the Earth shake. It's so exciting to watch, let alone be on the inside of the shuttles as well. And it only takes 8.5 minutes for us to get to space. And once we get to space, we travel around the Earth in only 90 minutes, only an hour and a half around the Earth each time. So it's really an amazing experience. I've flown in space 4 times. We do most of our training at the Johnson Space Center in Houston, Texas. That's where the astronauts live, and we do most of our training. But we also did a lot of training at the Kennedy Space Center. This is where we have the real space shuttles. And so before our mission, we'd get out of the simulators and get inside the real vehicles, so we know exactly what we're going to be operating in space on our flights. So our training at the Kennedy Space Center was also a really important part of our training. And space tourism is coming up. You know, from the Kennedy Space Center, we're just a few years away from some of our commercial companies launching commercial rockets to space. Some of those will be taking American astronauts up to the International Space Station. But within a few years, I know SpaceX and other companies will be launching, tourists up to space, and we're very close to that. Richard Branson with Virgin Galactic is only a year or so away from launching space tourists up to space, and we've got a number of companies, SpaceX and Sierra Nevada. There'll be a number of opportunities. I think within the next 20 years, you'll see space tourism being a fairly common experience. And I would compare it to maybe taking an exotic vacation to Antarctica. And it'll be something along those lines where people will pay, maybe $20,000 US, and they'll be able to go to space either for a quick suborbital flight up and down. We'll have opportunities to orbit the Earth. I actually think there'll be space hotels up in space as well for tourists to go and spend a few days, so you can get the full joy of floating and experiencing the zero gravity and spending a lot of time looking out the window, looking back at our beautiful planet Earth.